to Race One's commentary, joined by Ash, one of the head admins for Cerberus Virtual Racing, and also with me is Matt.
Good evening.
Take 4, I think, this, Matt.
We're doing well.
Yeah, we've had some technical difficulties, i.e. we've both tried to update his Twitch with new overlays and stuff, and it's going interestingly. So it's just been a bit of a learning curve for us both. So we've ended up, we thought we'd completed race 1, which we did. However, it didn't save anywhere. So we ended up doing race 2, back to front. Quite late on as well. We sounded absolutely knackered, didn't we?
Yep.
So we thought we'd come back and do race 1. So as you can see, there's a few new things on my screen. So you'll see our patrons down in the bottom right hand corner. So big shout out to them. Without your support, obviously we couldn't keep the lights on the service. So thanks again. Yeah, so smaller grid for race 1, Matt. A couple of reasons why. I think a few people fell out with 1.9 and moved elsewhere, and we got a few people on holiday and whatnot. But
yep,
we did quite well. I think we're at 18 for the first race, not too bad.
Yep. Yeah, probably an issue of people not liking track as well, but you get that.
Yeah, so for those just tuning in, the way we do it on CVR is we do a random pick of 8 tracks per series. This series we deducted all the tracks that we'd been on last one, just so we didn't have any rinse repeats. And 8 tracks were picked totally at random by the random picker. Interesting track choices, not personally some of my favourite tracks.
Same.
So the one that we're going to see in a minute is Zandvoort, which didn't really do particularly well on. I must admit, I didn't qualify quite high.
Me and you, the stop and go kings.
Yeah, they massively learnt from that to try and pull into the pits. So I'll be doing that before Sunday just to work out where the pits is. So this one is a little bit different from race 2 if you've already seen it. So this has got a mandatory pit involved, just fuel. So you don't have to take tyres if you don't want. So over the 60 minutes, if you decide you want to stay on the same set of tyres, good luck to you, because I tried it and it gets very sketchy towards the 50-minute mark.
And I went on the one set and ended up with a slow puncture on the front right, and at the end of the race ended up with 24.1 pressure, which was
it was weird that, because I ended up with 2 punctures, both on the driver's side, front and rear. So obviously I tried to play it pretty cool, thinking I'd got my strategy worked out to not change tyres and put a little bit less pressure in because of the multiplier that was set to the track, thinking it'll warm up. Because I think it was at 8 in the morning, this.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought, oh, it might warm up. And unfortunately, it backfired on me. I ended up with 2 punctures, so lesson learnt for that one. But yeah, so we'll jump straight into it. So it'll start on my car initially, but we should get some decent highlights. There's a bit of switching, swapping. So yeah, again, big shout out to Nick and his missus for making this is the first variant of the livery.
Get those soon, both of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
As you can see, also there is a car in the pit lane, so there was a little bit of a bug with the game where the person who was in the pit lane on his screen started on the grid and ended up with about 5 or 6 cars driving through him, but on everyone else's game he was just in the pits.
So we think we worked this out as somebody had left prior to the start of the race due to a ping issue, which messed up the start grid. We've had this a few times now. We had it at Nürburgring where it affected the weather, and now it's obviously affected this race.
Yeah, I think the Tex
in Spa.
Oh, Spa, yeah. Yeah, nothing really happened on lap 1, to be honest. There was a little bit of biff and barge, but nothing major.
So we're looking at Biles and Story.
Yeah.
I think Story had got a bit of a bizarre setup. So it looks like it's got a weird glare on my screen there. That is literally just the time in the morning. The sun was horrific.
It was, especially up here. Into this long right-hander. As soon as you come over the brow, it was like pick a mark and aim for it. Here we go. Tony and his pomegranate.
Had you and Todd switch places by this point then?
Yeah, he went half and half with his fuel, so he jumped me at the start. Porsche's good at the start anyway, but you could tell by the weight in my car that there's no point in me fighting it either. I wasn't going to gain anything from fighting it, so it was just a matter of getting to a rhythm and try and keep the gap as small as possible, because I knew that my strategy was going to work.
That was sort of what I was looking at over the hour. Just try and play it cool, not kill the tyres off, and get the right amount of fuel and get gone. And up until I got the stop go, it was working pretty well.
I think because of how cool the track was, I think the tyres actually fared a little bit better than we thought they would. But yeah, then it comes to navigating the pit lane and being a complete pillock that cost me.
It is a bizarre pit lane on Zandvoort though. It's pretty much in there and brake.
It was alright, turning right, but when I tried to turn left with the front right slow puncture, the car was like, I can't do that.
Yeah, I
So
think I ended up
bounced off
lancing the wall.
Yeah. But as you can see, everyone's literally just finding their way and working out where they're at.
Oh, there goes Chico.
Oh, did he do his bouncing into the gravel?
Yeah. So
Stage left.
Nick's getting headhunted by the wild card, who's no longer in this series.
Yeah.
Now Gav's working his way through the field with his Blackberry Lambo.
He comes up against the wild card here and he gets really frustrated and stuck behind him for quite a lot of the race. Oh, here we go.
There we go. Oh, nice. See ya.
Yep. That's what happens when you try and navigate on the grass at Zandvoort in a BMW. I advise against it, to be honest.
Can't park there, mate.
Yeah. I don't know how Gav ended up back behind him. I don't know whether he made a mistake or what. You'd have thought he'd stay clear of him there, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Strange. And there's Nick in the livery that him and his wife made, chasing down one of the Duvois brothers. Only one of them in this race. Both of them entered the Paul Ricard race.
We got Chico and Ethan.
Here you go, bit of action.
So Ethan's one of the new racers that joined us last series, and Chico joined us towards the back end.
To be fair, it is like Ethan starting all over again because he picked a Porsche for the two races he did last season, and it really didn't help him because the old Porsche, especially. Oh,
there's Eric.
Yep. That's a catchphrase, isn't it? Every highlight we have Eric's headbutting a wall or someone.
Yeah. Oh, there is Eric. That'll be the catchphrase.
But yeah, Ethan chose a much more sensible car this season with the Lambo.
Well, he's actually a rookie at ACC, isn't he?
Yeah.
He joined on the recommendation from Michael and Nick.
Yeah. He's a good little driver, to be fair. He did well at Paul Ricard as we're doing the commentaries back to front. But yeah, he did really well at Paul Ricard. Race 2 and 3. There's Eric with his extra spoiler at the front. Early pit stop.
Yeah, a bit lackluster overtake for me on Eric there. not as good as the some of the overtakes me and him doing on each other.
Always find yourself on the same patch of road, you see.
Two rivals.
Chris had a struggle in this race. He got stuck behind me for about 10 laps. Must have got frustrated, and then just the Ferrari sometimes, if you run a sketchy setup with it, it can try and kill you at times, and I think it caught him out a couple of times. So he kept finding himself having to claw his way back through.
Yeah, he had similar issues to me. I don't know whether it's down to temperature, but every now and again it just wanted to give me a bit of a slide.
Maybe you should take some of Tony's ways of thinking and get a bit of damage on the front. Seems to settle the car down a bit.
Yeah, just even downforce out.
Yeah. Got none at the rear, let's give it none at the front.
So this
There's
is a good
cheap.
that were a good overtake. That.
Yeah. That Mercedes seemed quite strong down the back, down the pit straight out that last corner. Oh God! There's Hans and Tony. This could be tasty. Oh, is this Hans's little dive bomb? Yep.
Oh, lovely. To be fair, it worked well because it went right.
Yeah. It's a bit rough with the door banging. Didn't realise it was that much, but you know. Well, these two have been at it again. So they can race together without hitting each other.
Yeah.
See, proof's in the pudding, boys. We've got evidence.
It does look nice, that Porsche, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks even nicer in real life when we saw it down at Donington.
Yeah. Yeah, and it really does sound nice as well. Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Gav on the beam,
as you can see there on 998, it's a bit naughty, the weaving that he was doing. Doing some naughty movements around, trying to deflect the for Gav.
We've got a slight tolerance for people that move slightly late, but not for people that continuously weave and stuff like that. If you can't trust the guy you're racing against, how can you race against that person? So it's racing etiquette,
It's not even that really. We've got to have respect for the other drivers on there, because if not, how are we expecting? I mean, some of the grids we've had over 30. I think we're 30, 35, 36 with the biggest grid, or 38. So we can't expect 38 cars to be on there if we can't attract the right people. So
here's Eric coming back through the field after his invitation to the barrier.
See, I still think Texas had made a good move in this. He finished quite high. I mean, I know he had a little bit of a moment there, but that's probably down to Eric going past him.
Yeah, anyone would have a moment when Eric comes past him.
The safest place out of Wayne, I think.
Here we go, Hans has caught them up.
Must get a good drive out of there. I was just going to say, must get a good drive out of there to allow him to get into an overtake position. Just slightly off there. Oh, Nicholas.
This is where Gav got frustrated and Nicholas picked them both off one by one. And yeah, I don't think
Gav flag paper down.
Yeah, it was really good racing, door to door, really good. Still at it. I think later on in the lap, Gav has a little go back, but couldn't quite. It's difficult on Zandvoort because trying to race side by side, as soon as you go offline, literally there's no grip. So like here, I think he just nips up the inside of Nick and then tries to go around the outside in the next corner, and yeah, if you look at the state of the track, there's marbles everywhere, and you just can't do it. So Nick kept that one. He goes after the Zabima. Coming through to the later stages now.
Yeah, it's a nice train there. So we're 32 laps in, so most people have started to struggle with tyres here.
Yep. We both had our pit lane issues as well, Bob.
Yeah, that's why I think I'm 2 laps down in 15th here. So Nick just managed to do the quick old switch.
Yep.
Gav were looking, just weren't close enough, I don't think.
No. The Beamer stayed on the inside, didn't he? And just, yeah, blocked Gav's attempt around the outside.
Does get through here though, a lap later.
Yep.
Hangs around on the outside and then does the old switch. Beamer doing a nice bit of defending there though.
See, it was alright when he was doing that, absolutely fine, but it was the weaving that really, he said, a big no-no too. In his hands. So he's got a bit of damage there on the front. Oh,
Yeah, I think
you can't park there. Oh no, it's Tex.
I think Tex was just moving out of the way for Devoy. No. Who's that in the background?
Is this where they come
Oh,
across?
that's me in the background actually.
Oh, yeah. Where you ended up in the gravel.
Yeah, can't park there.
More gravel and shit being thrown back on the track. Bleep that out. Blue flag. Was that for you?
And then yeah, that's Todd that.
Oh yeah, he gets caught up in this, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean the Beamer's looking very worse for wear at this point.
Yeah. Chico with a nice little dive up the inside there. Oh, bit of door banging.
That was like touring car-esque. Open door for Gav, nice to the door.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Todd almost ends up with it. And there we go. So, bit of a poor race from me, and I'd say you ended up in a similar state as well, didn't you? Your
I
race.
got a P4, salvaged a P4, but yeah, lack of thought process when entering the pit lane.
I think as entertainment value goes, race 1 was pretty much a bit lackluster. I think it was the series opener and just a few cobwebs. We'd had a couple of weeks off, haven't we? So
I
we're straight back.
think Zandvoort's one of those tracks where people struggle on their own anyway. So when you throw a couple of newbies in there that people haven't raced against before, then it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. But yeah, big shout out to all the patrons. Race 3 is this Sunday, so that should be interesting. That's at Misano, and as we just found out earlier, the time is going to be 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Weather's
We need to
looking
find out weather.
pretty dry from what I've seen so far on the weather, so it looks like it's going to be a pretty no excuse style race, and a warm one as well. So whether that affects the new tyre model that's been updated on Wednesday should be interesting. But we've got a few more cars on the grid now. I think we're running with 34.
Nice.
I think we've got a couple of people on holiday this weekend because it's the bank holiday in the UK. So I think we're just a couple of cars down.
The other issue is you have the Monaco Grand Prix and Indy 500, so you could see a couple of people missing because of that.
Yeah. So 34 signed up as of now, but I would probably imagine mid-20s, late 20s. So should make for a good race. So keep your eye out on the Twitch for mine. Matt, your Twitch is also now back active as well.
Yeah, and jail race.
So we'll start doing a bit of a collab See if we can get some multi angles for the races and stuff. So just bear with us while we get back technical. I think we're probably going to end up with stream decks and all sorts by the time we're done, aren't we, Matt?
Yeah, it just makes life easier.
So yeah, keep your eye out. Keep your eye out for YouTube, and as always, for the updates on the races, have a look on SimGrid. And if you want any up-to-date information on any upcoming events and races that are in the pipeline, have a look on our Discord. The link should be on the Twitch.
And also, if you want any coaching sessions, just DM me on Discord and we'll get you booked in.
Yep, so thank you for me.
Yep, and catch you next time.
And see you Sunday. Take care now.